right, welcome everybody. Can everybody hear me okay? All right, great, great, great. Well, I am really excited to be here. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, everybody from the Texas Oncology Foundation. I've had the honor of doing all kinds of events with the Texas Oncology Foundation over the years, and I'm always delighted to do this kind of work. And thank you, everybody who's joined this program. You're the most important people, and you're doing the most important thing. You're giving us the gift of your time and your attention. So, I'm just really, really glad to be here. To tell you about myself real quick, I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm a career change clinical psychologist. I began my career in my 20s. I went to Harvard Divinity School. I did a Master of Divinity in Comparative Religion. I spent a lot of time in East Asia studying meditation, which is one of the big things we'll talk about today. I probably worked for about 10 or 15 years as an interfaith chaplain. Started out at Dana-Farber, a cancer hospital up in Massachusetts, and have pretty much worked my entire career in oncology, palliative care, and hospice. Um, and so I guess, and then in my 40s, I went back to school and got a PhD in clinical psychology. One thing, of course, we're talking about relaxation techniques during the holidays. One other thing about my background I'll share that's really relevant to relaxation techniques during the holidays, especially for folks in the oncology community. For a little while, I was a tenure track professor at MD Anderson, and I was in the integrative medicine department. The way we define integrative medicine at MD Anderson is in the cancer world, obviously, you have all these research-based forms of care, chemotherapy, radiation, hormone therapy, immunotherapy, all these kind of things. There's all these other types of treatments out there. Um, Many alternative treatments actually have a substantive body of research behind them showing their value for cancer treatment and cancer outcomes. For example, yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, art therapy, music therapy, massage therapy, needle-based acupuncture, all of those things, and I'm also forgetting some things, have research showing their efficacy, helping cancer patients improve their treatment outcomes. Another one of those things and so if these alternative treatments have research showing their efficacy, we integrate them into traditional medicine. Another one of those forms of integrative medicine is mindfulness and other forms of meditation. So when I was at MD Anderson, I was kind of the mindfulness guy, the meditation guy at MD Anderson. And that's the primary thing I'm here to talk to you about today. And in just a minute, we'll actually do a guided meditation exercise together just to have you guys get a little feel for what meditation's like. I'll be speaking for about 30 minutes. We'll have time for Q&A at the end for sure. Rachel says that you guys like to be active in the chat, which I think is great. Feel free at any time to put questions. Rachel will be monitoring that. I'll be doing my best to monitor that as well. So I'm really glad to be here with you all today. And I'm aware that this is like a part of a 12-part. Is that right, Rachel? A 12-part series? Yeah. So I'm not the only one talking about the holidays. I don't want to repeat anything from what other presenters are saying. The only thing I will say as both a psychologist and a minister is that this probably isn't news to everybody in this audience, but I do want to say the holidays can be hard. And so I want to give you permission to be kind to yourselves. I'm assuming everybody on this webinar is either a cancer patient or a cancer survivor or a cancer caregiver. And so I just want to empower all of you to be kind to yourselves, especially this holiday season. As an ordained minister, I don't mind saying that I have a particular interest in this time of year because if you think about it, every world religion, every culture, I think, has some type of ceremony, some type of holiday, some type of sacred day or event around the darkest time of the year, finding light in the darkest time of the year. And I can also say, as a psychologist, this is often kind of ironically and sadly the hardest time of year for folks, especially I think in the cancer community. Part of the reason is, especially in American society, the holiday season has already kind of started, I think, unofficially with Halloween. I remember when I was a kid, maybe some of y'all will remember this too, the Peanut specials of the 60s and the famous Charlie Brown special. One thing I loved in that Peanut special, you may remember, I think they did a Charlie Brown also, or Charles Schultz did a Peanuts special. Um, gosh, I guess about Easter, and he had this cultural. These Peanut specials started out in the '60s. If anybody on the call besides me is old enough to remember those, and Charles Schultz, he did this Easter. It's the Easter Beagle, Charlie Brown, and he had this. It was Easter, and he kind of had this cultural commentary where the malls were already starting to sell Christmas stuff at Easter time. And that was back in the 60s. What have the holidays become today? So, I say that because I think it's easy to lose sight of what the holidays hopefully are about. And we can feel a lot of pressure to be happy, and pressure to really go, 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 go. So I like to focus on relaxation during the holidays. Um, so the first thing I want to talk about is um, I want to do a guided meditation exercise with you all. And if you're new to meditation, that's great. People who are new to meditation often do, better than the old seasoned hands at meditation. So if you haven't meditated, or if you have, I'll offer a couple thoughts real quick. The first is I teach meditation a lot. It's a research-based way to help shape your thoughts and behaviors in ways that are congruent with your freely chosen goals and values. I'll say that again. Meditation is a research supported way to help shape your thoughts and behaviors in ways that are congruent with your freely chosen goals and values. Meditation is just training your brain, just like an athlete trains their body. You can tell I'm probably not much of an athlete if that's my imitation of being an athlete, but just like an athlete trains their body, the meditator trains their brain to use certain thoughts, certain emotions, certain visual images, and certain parts of their brain for different psychological or spiritual tasks. Just like we get muscle memory, we get neurological memory. A classic saying in neurology is neurons that fire together wire together. And that is literally true. Neurons that fire together wire together. So you can train your brain just like an athlete trains their body. And that's what meditation is. Meditation is training your brain to help you live more in congruence with your freely chosen goals and values. So, thinking about meditation during the holidays is a great thing because meditation is infinitely practical. And one of the great things about it, too, is you can do it anytime, anywhere, for any period. One of my favorite little things I like to do with meditation is I love other forms, these things we were talking about earlier, like massage therapy, acupuncture, yoga, tai chi, qigong. All those things are great. You want to find the relaxation techniques that work for you. One plus about meditation, again, is you can do it anytime, anywhere, for any period. If you're at the mall, or you're out shopping, or you're doing something, it might be a little strange if you just start doing some yoga or tai chi or qigong. But meditation is something you do purely in your mind, and so you can do it anywhere. A little trick I like to do if I'm out in public is, um, if you were to sit there and, and I don't do a full, these complicated full lotus meditation postures and anything like that. But I will meditate in public. And one thing it'll do, is it's completely socially acceptable to be on these things, our cell phone, right? So I'll take out my cell phone, I'll put in some headphones. I can either listen to a guided meditation, I can listen to music, or I can just have my headphones in with my phone, and that's completely socially acceptable, and I can be meditating anywhere. So, a couple thoughts about meditation. The first one is, if you're new to meditation, or maybe you're nervous about meditation, you're probably way better at meditation than you ever realized. I'm willing to bet. I think we had like 80 people sign up for this or something, and I haven't had the pleasure of meeting most of you. And I can say that you've probably already meditated and not even realized it. And you're probably way better at meditation than you give yourself credit for. Anytime you've immersed yourself in something that's valuable to you, and you've kind of, in a completely normal, natural, healthy way, just become part of that experience, and you, in a completely normal, natural way, you lose your sense of time and you just become the experience itself. Sometimes we call that flow states, and that's meditation. Maybe you're playing with your kids or your grandkids. Maybe you're playing with, your dog. Maybe you're listening to music. You're eating delicious food. You're laughing with a friend. You're marveling at the mystery and beauty of a sunset. Whenever you immerse yourself in something sacred to you, and you kind of just become part of the experience itself, maybe it's exercise, whatever it is, that's meditation. And I'm willing to bet almost all of us have had that kind of an experience. The other thing about meditation is, if you get distracted, that's okay. In fact, it's actually even kind of a good thing. You'll sometimes hear in certain circles stuff about stopping your mind. I've been meditating probably for about 45 years or so. I meditate every day. I've meditated in all kinds of different styles. I'm certified in mindfulness-based stress reduction. I've done meditation training in Asia. You're never going to stop your brain. Even if you're asleep, your brain is still going. If you've stopped your brain in a literal sense, we've got bigger problems. You're never going to stop your brain. We've got over 80 billion cells in our brain. What we want to learn to do is be compassionate with our brain, be kind to our brain, and we can train our brain just like an athlete trains their body. So if you get distracted, that's okay. Distractions are a normal part of life. We've got over 80 billion cells in our brain. You're going to get distracted. If you get distracted, good for you for noticing. A lot of cognitive researchers estimate that we have the same thoughts over again about 90% of the time. That's a scary thought. It's worth considering, what kind of thought patterns do we habitually get into during the holidays? And how do those thought patterns serve us? So one of the things we're doing with meditation is we're getting aware of our thought patterns. And we're also starting to cultivate new thought patterns, new emotional patterns. And so with meditation, if you get distracted, good for you, good for noticing. Just bring yourself back. And in fancy psychology language, we call that attention control. And when you get more awareness of your thought patterns and your more emotional patterns, and you get more practice bringing yourself back to where you want to be, that's a powerful force of change. So don't worry about getting distracted. Your distractions are actually a good thing. With meditation too, the only thing I'll say about the body, and this is an important thing for cancer patients, because cancer patients can have fatigue, side effects. Even if you've come out of your cancer treatment, it takes a while just to work through all the emotions and the physical processes of going through cancer treatment. Sometimes breathing itself can be difficult. You don't have to focus on your breath during meditation. You can focus on sound, music, smells like incense, visualization practice. And the only thing, especially as a cancer patient or a cancer caregiver, it's hard to be a caregiver too. We hold stress and tension in our bodies. Just be kind to your body. The only thing you need to do with your body during meditation is let it be in a posture that is comfortable for you. You know, if you need to adjust, that's okay too. Let your adjustment be a form of mindful attention and then go back to your traditional meditation. So, having said all that, I'd like to try a guided meditation with y'all. You can keep your eyes open. That usually helps us to stay awake. Sometimes closing the eyes can help people concentrate, just as long as you can stay awake. If you fall asleep, you're probably like most Americans and chronically sleep deprived. I say get your sleep and your meditation. But if you want to keep your eyes open during meditation, that's okay. Just don't stare at people to distract them. We will begin. I'll go ahead and ring this chime 3 times. Sometimes on Zoom, the chime doesn't really sound as well as it does in person, but you'll have the visual cue. We'll begin and end the meditation with 3 rings of the chime, and we will do kind of a guided mindfulness exercise with a little bit of visualization. So right as we begin, just take a moment. Maybe you're in a chair, you're on a sofa, you're on a recliner. Just take a moment to be aware of your body. We hold a lot of stress and tension in our bodies. Get your body comfortable, and we'll begin. With the sound of the chime, we will begin our relaxation now. Just taking a moment to make sure your body is in a comfortable position for you. And as you can, just allowing your body to relax as much as possible. We can hold a lot of stress and tension in our bodies, and letting your body relax will help your brain relax because your mind is a part of your body. And so just breathing in and out, breathing in a way that's natural to you. And if you can, allowing yourself to relax, relax, and taking a moment to be aware of any physical sensations you're having. Just tuning into your body. We can hold a lot of stress and tension in our bodies. And just being aware of your body, listening to your body like a good friend, and treating your body like a good friend. Our body holds a lot of wisdom and a lot of information. As a cancer patient or a cancer caregiver or a cancer survivor, what is your body telling you right now? And expanding our awareness to include our emotions. Just being aware of whatever you're feeling emotionally right now. As you think about the holidays, what kind of emotions come up with that? And just like a good friend, giving yourself permission to feel whatever it is you need to feel. Whatever you feel emotionally is okay. Maybe you're feeling powerful emotions, or maybe you're feeling very subtle emotions. If you can, allowing yourself to relax and just giving yourself the spaciousness to feel whatever you need to feel, and tuning into your emotions, just like you tune into the emotions of someone you really care about, and being non-judgmental of your emotions. Just allowing yourself to feel what you need to feel. And expanding our awareness a little more to noticing your thought patterns. We've got billions and billions of cells in our brain. We're often going to have all kinds of thoughts and even conflicting thoughts about the very same thing, especially about things like the holidays. For now, seeing if you can allow your mind to relax, relax. And you don't need to think any particular set of thoughts, just being aware of your thought patterns. And our mind and our thoughts are like clouds in the sky. The clouds come and the clouds go. And we don't control the clouds. We just notice the clouds. And as we're meditating, see if you can allow your mind to relax and then letting your thoughts, like the clouds, come and go. And if you like, expanding our awareness a little more to your physical self, your emotional self, your thinking self in your environment. What is it like for you on a Tuesday evening as the holidays are coming up? Halloween is around the corner, then Thanksgiving and other seasonal holidays. What is it like for you in your chair or in your backyard or your sofa? What is it like for you in your environment right now? And this kind of constant symphony of change that's always occurring. And just paying attention to all the things that make you you and all the things that are changing about you moment to moment to moment. And as we're nearing the end of our meditation, taking a moment to visualizing the holidays and thinking about what would your ideal holiday season look like? Not what is it supposed to look like? Not what does it always look like? But thinking about what you'd like the holidays to look like for you. And imagining too, what will help you cultivate your ideal holiday season? Are there things you'd like to do or not do? People you'd like to see or not see? And just imagine what helps you make the holiday season a gentle, restful, restorative one for you. And as we near the end of our meditation, just take a moment in your mind's eye to really imagine yourself relaxing during the holidays. Relaxing. Just relaxing and giving yourself permission to rest and rejuvenate, and remembering that taking care of yourself is taking care of the other people and things you care about, and that you're worthy of self-care precisely because of who you are. And thank you for taking a moment out of your busy schedules to care for yourself in this way. And as I ring the chimes again, we'll return to our waking world and our discussion. Thank you very much, my friends. I want to take a moment and I want to share some resources that I always love to share, some of my favorite resources. But I whatever way is most skillful, Rachel, we can do. But I'd love to hear people's feedback. How was that for you? Was it easy? Was it hard? Was it relaxing? Was it tough? Were some parts easy, some parts hard? How was that meditation for you? There's no bad feedback. Like everything is relevant and welcome. And I'm okay with people. Are people allowed to like speak to or yeah. I'm cool with just y'all chatting, or you can put things literally in the chat by typing or just kind of sharing your experiences. But I'd love to people who are new to meditation, maybe you've meditated before, yoga, tai chi, qigong, these things are also meditation. Really, anything can be a vehicle of meditation. You're just putting your thoughts and emotions on things that are helpful for how you want to be in the world. But I want to take just a moment and we can also kind of open up the Q&A. How was that for y'all? See a couple thumbs up. Okay. More thumbs up. That's great. That's good. Yeah. Was it tough for anybody? It's okay if it was tough. Okay. Well, I'm glad if it was not tough. I will say, I really, we think of meditation as this kind of mystical, magical thing. It can certainly be that. And certainly, oh, I see somebody put, I'm having a little trouble monitoring the chat, but I see one person put quiet and gentle. Thank you for that. You know, it's no mistake that every world religion teaches some type of contemplative practice, and every culture. We have, human history is filled with a rich tapestry of diverse cultures, and every world culture, every world religion teaches some type of contemplative practice. And so, um, it's actually really one of the most natural and normal things that we do. I want to keep going with the Q&A, but I will take a second just to share some resources that I think Rachel was also going to probably sent out with the email, I think, right, Rachel? But and some of you I think I recognize and maybe have done webinars with me before, so maybe some of these resources I've shared, but I love these resources, so I just like to share them. So I'm going to share screen and let's see here. Okay, share screen. And you got a copy of this, but I just want to walk you through them. Okay, so I think you all can see my screen now, correct? Okay, I just want to share a few of my favorite resources. If you're interested in meditation specifically, these are all books that describe research supported practices. One book I like is called The Anxiety and Phobia Workbook. Don't let that title scare you. It actually has a chapter on nutrition, a chapter on spirituality, a chapter on exercise, lots and lots of chapters on different forms of wellness. It's kind of a cognitive and behavioral approach to cultivating wellness, but there's two great chapters in it on mindfulness and other forms of meditation. I actually use that with a lot of my clients. I used to work in the Career Counseling Center at the University of Houston Clear Lake, and we would use the Anxiety and Phobia Workbook with our clients. If you're interested on the actual research of meditation, there's a great book from two neuropsychologists from Harvard, Daniel Goldman, who I forgot to list, and then Richard Davidson, but it's called Altered Traits. Science Reveals How Meditation Changes Your Mind, Brain, and Body. This isn't so much a how-to book, but it is, if you're interested, it gives an overview of different types of meditation and the different parts of the brain they work on. Mindfulness in Plain English. That is it is written by a Buddhist monk, but I think it's very multicultural. I've known people from all kinds of religious and cultural backgrounds who love that book. That book, Mindfulness in Plain English, influenced a neurologist from MIT who you may have heard of, John Kabat-Zinn, who's written several good research-based books on mindfulness specifically. And I'll just say this, there's many kinds of meditation. The best kind of meditation is the one that works for you in the moment. Meditate, the different kinds of meditation are like tools in a toolbox. Sometimes you need a wrench, sometimes you need a hammer, sometimes you need a screwdriver. They're all equally valuable. It's just what kind of tool do you need in the moment. John Kabat-Zinn writes a lot on mindfulness, which is kind of training your brain to be aware of your thought patterns, emotional patterns, and behaviors. We kind of did a guided mindfulness exercise today. Mindfulness is actually recommended by the American Medical Association as a way of dealing with chronic pain. So this is, change your brain, you can change your life, really and truly. Stephen Hayes is kind of a cognitive and behavioral approach using mindfulness, using what we call acceptance to transform your situations. But he talks a lot about mindfulness too. I list some great apps, 10% Happier, Insight Timer, Headspace Calm. I think there's free version of those apps too. I also list my website, which is www.drdavidzuniga.com. The only reason I list my website is because I worked with a documentary filmmaker and I made 6 original videos, about an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of guided meditation videos that they use at a lot of infusion clinics. They use them at MD Anderson. There's no email sign up list. There's no cookies tracking you. They're just there for free. But it's really just my voice. And then this documentary filmmaker shot original video of the Pacific Ocean and the Gulf Coast of Texas with like birds, flowers, trees, clouds, and then my voice. There's actually one meditation that I didn't come up with it. I cite this radiation oncologist who came up with a visualization practice for cancer patients. And he felt his patients who did this guided visualization practice got better treatment results with their radiation. So I don't know if there's research to back up that claim, but there is research to back up meditation. And this radiation oncologist, Carl Simonton, came up with, he just felt like his decades of doing meditation and radiation treatment with cancer patients led him to create several great meditations, one of which I have on my website. So Rachel, emailed those resources to you. We still have a little bit of time. And I know we're talking about a lot of things. We're talking about the holidays. We're talking a little bit about meditation. There's a lot of different kinds of meditation too. There's mindfulness, body scans, loving kindness meditation, mantra or phrase repetition practices. There's also what's called hypnotherapy. We used to do hypnotherapy at MD Anderson. I think they still do. Hypnotherapy is not like in the movies or the county fair. Nobody can make you dance like a chicken or whatever, kind of stuff they do. If you dance like a chicken, you want to dance like a chicken. Nobody can make you do that kind of stuff. But when I was in the integrative medicine department at MD Anderson, we had a program where it was voluntary, but for patients who wanted it for certain outpatient surgeries, port placements, biopsies. You would do a little bit of lidocaine right at the point of incision, but the main form of meditation was the sound of my voice inviting you to relax, relax. And the patients who did what we called it conscious sedation or medical hypnosis, it was just guided meditation. The patients who did that reported less pain, less side effects than patients who were just knocked out with anesthesia. To be clear, there's nothing wrong with anesthesia, but the patients who did this program, 90% of them, I think, had no previous training in meditation. So it is something you can learn quickly. And that's just a tiny example to say that the brain is a very, very powerful ally on your spiritual and psychological journey. I mean, the brain is kind of an amazing instrument. The average adult brain, we've got all kinds of adults. We've got a whole, 20 or 30 of us on this call. Each of us has a brain. The average adult brain weighs 2 to 3 pounds, and yet it burns over 20% of our calories at rest. That's kind of an amazing thing. Something so tiny, only 2 to 3 pounds, consumes 20% of our calories, even if we're resting. So what is it? Yeah, I know, it's kind of amazing. So what is it like if your brain is stressed or worried or anxious or doing research about chemotherapy on the internet or dealing with insurance companies or trying to figure out FMLA, as whatever it is, our brains are a lot of pressure, and our brains can also be trained to be a powerful ally on our path of healing, growth, and restoration, especially during the holidays. So,
Mhm.
um, I'm talking a lot, but I just want to open this up to y'all. Any thoughts, any questions? Were there any questions in the chat, Rachel?
Yeah, we asked for some feedback on the meditation that we did together. We got
Yeah.
two thumbs up. We had a participant say it was quiet and gentle, which is so true. We had another participant say that was very calming, which is also true. And then we had the last one, our participant said it reinforces the fact that it's okay to take time for me.
Yes, absolutely. I can't emphasize that enough. You know, I always tell people, and I said it, I think a few minutes ago, when you take time for yourself, you're also taking time and helping the people and causes that you care about. It's kind of like when in an allied vein, when you help the caregiver, you're helping the patient as well. And when, in a similar way, kind of an analogy, when you take care of yourself, you're taking care of other people and things as well. To be clear, you're worthy of self-care precisely because of who you are. But sometimes in our busy, busy society, you almost need to give permission to give for people to do self-care. So the kind of permission is, if you take care of yourself, you're taking care of other people. And to be clear, you're worthy of self-care precisely because of who you are. And I want to say too, interestingly, if you slow down and do a little bit of self-care for yourself, whatever that looks like for you, you will actually be like they've done tons and tons of research on the brain and productivity. Just like an athlete needs to rest their physical body, we need to rest our hardworking brains. And if you take, again, meditation is something you can do anytime, anywhere, for any period. And if you take little bits of meditation, you will be more productive and make less mistakes and go faster overall if you let yourself rest. Just like a world-class marathon runner, he or she has to pace themselves. We have to pace ourselves as well. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I
Other
just
thoughts?
in the
Yeah.
chat any last minute questions for Dr. Zuniga. Feel free to become off mute. If you don't know how to do that, just chat me and I will suggest I will help you unmute. But we just wanted to see if there's any last minute questions from you guys because we have about 3 minutes left. And if not, that's okay too.
It is okay. One thing I always like to say, and I didn't say it yet, so I want to make sure I say it, is one thing I do for the holidays is I give myself the gift of no. uh, of saying no to things. And the holidays are a classic example of sometimes doing less is doing more, So if you don't, in a similar analogy, if you don't have any questions, that's okay. It's kind of end of the day, and we're talking about the brain and neurology and neurons. It's a lot of stuff, and also relaxation. But, kind of in a similar vein, give yourself the gift of no. There's so much pressure. And I think a challenge of the holidays is too that we're so busy. We're so, working more and more and more and driven and driven and driven. And so then all of a sudden the holidays will roll around and we're like, oh, this is relaxation time. This is family time. Now I'm going to relax, So then we feel
Forced relaxation.
yeah, yeah, exactly, Rachel. We feel pressure to just relax, 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 relax. Well, hey, do relax. Say no to a few things. You can almost see it as a behavioral experiment. If you don't go to every holiday party you're invited to, maybe you don't decorate the house quite as much. Like if you really authentically want to decorate the house and go to every party, then do all the things. But maybe you don't, and that's okay too. And just try experimenting with doing less and watch what mind patterns you start to have when you think about doing that, you know? So I'm really honored that you all took this time for me today, joining us. And thank you, Rachel. Thank you, everybody, the Texas Oncology Foundation, for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you so much for participating with us today. Just a reminder, this session was recorded and will be sent to all registrants in a follow-up email. Dr. Zuniga, thank you so much for your time today. He's always a little humble with those videos. He's very famous on YouTube with his mindfulness videos. So I know we did a really short mindfulness with him today, but if you want to kind of extend that out, I highly suggest going to Dr. Zuniga's website and looking at a few of those videos because they are very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
And then lastly, I just want to remind you guys to like our Facebook page and stay current on our social media. Make sure to follow us or subscribe to us on YouTube because you will see updates of our digital dives there as well. And then come next Tuesday. It's the November. We got through October already. So it's November next Tuesday. And we are doing Pilates. And we're doing Pilates and trying to keep moving during the holidays. This is a very simple Pilates session. You can do it in the chair. You can do it on the floor. There's a lot of different options that our Pilates teacher will give you next week. So definitely make sure to come for that. And we will see you guys the week after as well, because we still have 4 left. So we'll just see you for the next few Tuesdays through December.